Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to discuss a continuation of what we started talking about yesterday, dividend funds with a more stable NAV that are paying out lower payouts. So the trade-off between NAV and payout is very profound in many of the funds that we see, especially like with Yield Max, Defiance. We get a higher dividend, but we continue to see NAV erosion. So what I want to talk about first is a fund that was actually commented on yesterday, the SRV. Welcome. We have a first commenter here. All right. Okay, so I want to first discuss a fund called SRV. I'll introduce this to you all. This is one I don't know a lot about, but we will learn about it together. Okay, let me share Seeking Alpha here. And then, of course, as the tradition goes, the fund I was just looking at prior is still up here. Okay, so let's see. SRV is let's see, NXG Cushing Midstream Energy. Let me make sure this is the right one. I believe this is the right one. This is the one that several commenters have mentioned. Okay, so this one is up 31% over the past year. It's up 21% year to date, and I believe this is just price return, but let me go to charting and double check. Yeah, just in price return. Okay, so first let's make sure that, oh, wow, this is a great find. It's rated as a buy. Dividend yield 13%, forward yield 45-cent last announced dividend. If we look at the dividend history, we've got it pays out 45 cents. And wow, they've already declared like for May. That's interesting. If we look at a year ago, this is a great find. Let's see. 4, 8, 12. So 45 cents a month for every month of the year. This is awesome. So 45 cents times 12, if we annualize this, that's $5.40 payout on 41.23. That is 13%, exactly like it said. Okay, so 13% yield, and then we're up 31% in the past year, almost on par with the S&P 500. Now, if we look at total return, and I'll compare all of these here on Seeking Alpha. So look at this. We're crushing the S&P on this one in terms of total return, 52% versus 32% for the S&P over the same time horizon. Oh, this is funny. I did cover growth and you still didn't call me a dog, so I guess maybe next video. 13% yield for SRV. Well, not only that, new investor, but focus on total return. So total return is crushing the S&P 500. This is a great find, actually. I'm laughing at this one. But I'm the YouTuber. I'm the one that would have to do the banning, but I won't ban anyway. I only ban fake accounts. For some reason, I don't know, I guess I'm starting to grow in popularity. I'm getting a lot of like imposter accounts on Discord that I have to keep banning. So I guess it's a sign of the times, as they say. One downtown says, does this fund issue a K1 form for tax returns? Let me look at that. Good question. Any more interviews coming? Yeah, so we had a little bit of a lull. I know you all got excited because I did like 3 in 1 week, but we had a lull this week because the Curve people. So the CEO of Curve couldn't come on until next week. I think it's next week. I have to look at my calendar again. But we have a special April Fool's Day guest who's actually not a fool, but a very, very accomplished individual coming on, which happens to be Monday, April Fool's Day, because Monday's the 1st. Is this a closed-end fund or a regular ETF? So I literally know nothing about this other than what I've just looked at on the chart here. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together for sure. Yeah, over 10 years. I only looked at the last year, but I'll go back for sure like I always do. Is this a stock or an ETF? I believe it is an ETF, but someone asked if it's a closed-end fund or not. All right, let me go back to my screen here. My allergies kind of got me today. Dang. All right. So, like Dissector mentioned here, Yeah, he's right. Over the last 10 years. Well, it's an energy fund, right? So yeah, we've got to pay attention to the whole thing. Since 2007, down 44% in total return. So it looks positive on the short term, but well, even over 3 years, I mean, wait a second. How's the S&P 32% over 3 years? Do you guys notice that? Like over 3 years versus 1 year? Here's the problem. So 2022 was such an off year for the markets. Literally, the gains we had last year were kind of erased by 2022. I know very well because like I had a great year in the 401 last year, but 2022 was a very, very down year. So net and net, it was still positive, but not, maybe what it could have been in like a stable fund or something. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, Richard King, late to the party. Okay, so yeah, good point. Yeah, over 10 years, it definitely is negative. And since 2017, it's negative as well. Okay, but and that's interesting. So over 3 years versus 1 year, the S&P 500 is only like a 0.01% difference. Like I was just pointing out, because 2022 erased a lot of our gains that we've seen last year. Um, so check this here. So SRV is actually having a great year this year, but you got to pay attention to the history of it. So the history of it, so yeah, 26% for the year. That's where a lot of the positive return is attributable to, because if we look over, see, it fluctuates a lot. Like at one point we were up like 48%. Um, yeah, here, even in October, 36%. We started to track identically with the S&P, and then we've pulled away here. Over 3 years, I mean, that definitely looks awesome. Let me actually look at the summary of the fund here. SA has it a buy. The other two have it as not covered, which means maybe it's not as well known. The expense ratio is insane, though, 2.84%. By the way, no one ever got back to me on that 11% expense ratio. That one's crazy. 11%. I mean, you've got to really be a dog to earn a fee like that. You got to make like $1 million. For me, you have to make me like $1 million to earn a fee like that. There's assets under management, forward yield. Um, okay, so 4123. Trying to find out. Oh, it's an MLP. That's called a master limited partnership. So MLPs are typically energy funds. I've seen this a lot actually. There was another one called CLM years ago that actually kind of like bottomed out. Not CLM, was it? No, no, no. I'm sorry. What was it? Shoot. I'm drawing a blank now. It was called Clearbridge something. Clearbridge. It might be this one, CEM. I was off by a couple letters. I got the C right at least though. Oh, this one's coming back. Clearbridge Master Limited Partnership and Midstream Fund. So over like the max here, we're down 55%. This is almost how all MLPs behave. So this one's starting to come back, but if you were in this one since inception, you're down like 55%. Over 10 years, you're down 65%. Over 5 years, you're down 27%. But over the past year, you're up 46% almost, and 14% year to date. The dividends here, this is a 6% dividend yield. So I won't add this one into the comparison, but I just wanted to pull it up for argument's sake, because that's typically how master limited partnerships perform. Not so masterful after all. Let's see here. Welcome, G-Man. BEP is one. Oh, we'll add that one. Carl Icon's MLP has taken a poopy too. Yeah. Oh, that's another one. Icon Enterprises. Icon Enterprises, I haven't looked at that, but the returns over the past year were less than Iconic for such a legendary investor. Look at this. I've never seen his fund do that bad. This is like the stock, the IEP. So here's a classic example of the dividend paradox, like I say. So when you see the dividend increasing, sometimes it's because the fund price is dropping. So even like with Yield Max, when the dividend is like 70%, the NAV could be down 50%. And so the dividend percentage keeps going up, but the dollar amount itself doesn't necessarily change. It's interesting though, Wall Street has it a strong buy, probably because of the reputation of Icon. Let's add this one. Let me just do this. I'll start a new comparison. What's the last one we were looking at? Not SLV, that's silver. SRV. There's a funny story about, so one of the first, well, I drove a truck. It was my first ever vehicle. And there was a joke because it was old and needed a lot of work. So there was a running joke that it was the SRV, short range vehicle. Anyway, so yeah, Icon Enterprises has been abysmal, which is crazy because wow, look at this, over 5 years, because it's tanked so much. That's crazy. That's crazy. Look at that. Since inception, it's still up 133%. So as a long-term investor, you would still be up. But wow, this last year, I mean, that one is just crazy. Let me uh, factor that one out of the equation here. Let's look at BEP. Let's see, BEP is Brookfield Renewable Partners Limited Partnership. Yeah, oh, that's a renewable alternative, I guess. So that could be some diversification there. Although Mr. Buffett doesn't believe in diversification. Oh, this one's down for the past year, but let's see, over 10 years, it's up. Good alternative. Good one. Good find there, Dissector. And look, since 2002, almost 400%. Let's look at total return. Total return is definitely what we like. Wow, that's incredible with reinvested dividends. The dividends must be phenomenal. So, oh, I'm still on this this Icon one here. Um, Let me search BEP. Brookfield Renewable Partners. So what we've got for dividends, we've got a 6% yield, but look at the difference though, in terms of, so we've got price return since inception versus total return. Look at that crazy difference. So I got to look at the dividend history here. So if I go to dividends, and then does it have like all of them? Let's see. Oh man. I've never seen such a difference between total return and price return. Here we go, dividend history. Let's see. 35 cents, 33 cents. It looks like, oh, they used to pay more if we go all the way back. So if you reinvested all the dividends, you'd have like a 2,000% return since inception. Okay, so it's been a steady dividend payer. Definitely, like I say, less volatile NAV and a positive dividend. I know IEP is a stock. He mentioned Carl Icahn, so I thought I'd look it up. SMH is actually rated one of the top ETFs out there. Thoughts on Exxon from YieldMax, kind of along the lines of this video, lower dividends but more stable. Ah, see, he just wants to redirect me to YieldMax. I see what it is. You all have this like love affair with YieldMax. We just can't get away from it. It's okay though. Yeah, XOMO, the Exxon one, is one of the more stable ones actually. Yeah, I can pull that one up. XOMO, DISO, and JPMO are more stable ones as well. I was trying to go for some like lesser known ones, but we can go for those. Why not, right? Okay, let's see. Charting. We'll look at XOMO. They could actually have a run up. I see like the price at the pump starting to run up again. Down 8% since inception. Let's see, we can look up JPMO as well. This one should actually be taken off because JP Morgan stock has been on a tear. And then DISO. These are like the three stable ones, which Jay told us, like these are typically like the least traded ones because they're kind of the boring ones. But if I go to performance, total return, let's see, I think these are all positive. Yeah, JPMO is a 20%, DISO is 29.46%, XOMO 1.62%. Let me go back to just price return for these since inception. So which one? Oh, I'm sorry, since like 1 year for BEP. BEP's down 33%. Let's take this one off the list for now and just look at these. XOMO is down 8% in price return. So not horrible, not compared to some of the others like Tesla and maybe some of the Defiance ones. Okay, let's see. Oh, of course, SPYT. SPYT announced their first dividend yesterday. Speaking of Defiance, it's so new though. Let me do this. I want to go here and add it. So it's so new, it's hard to accurately compare because we have a limited sample size of data. So 1.68% there in terms of price return. So it's a positive price return. Let me see if we can do total return because it's so new. Probably not. Yeah, see, it's going to be the same. Okay, so that one, a lot of you have been wanting me to look at Cornerstone. Oh, TSLP is a curve fund as well. That's the curve version of the Tesla high yield fund. So TSLP is actually down 14% since inception. Let's actually compare our favorite one, or maybe not so favorite anymore, TSLY, over the same time horizon. Do I already have 7 funds? Yeah, that's the 7th one. There we go. So over the same time horizon, oh, and total return, Tesla's outperforming TSLP. Okay, then we'll scratch that one from the list. So here's the ones that we have so far in terms of like more stable NAV and lower dividend payouts. Let's see what we got here. You're on Jay's payroll. I kind of knew it. I figured. I figured the Elmo character was a bit sus. My cop is on a little run. What is that, Kanoko Phillips? Speaking of stocks. Okay, well, we can look at that one while we're at it. Let me see. COP. Kanoko Phillips. I like to cover dividend stocks too. I'm going to do some more of that. 34% year over year, 10% total return. Not bad. Okay, so there we go, folks. That's what we're looking at on this one. I'll make this a recurring series because it definitely seems to be popular. I got a really cool comment. So the funny thing, I'd say like 99% of my comments are good, but I do get some comments that are, on the other side of things. And on my live stream yesterday, I got an interesting comment. Somebody said that I don't understand options. And I told the commenter, I said, well, I'll show sample, example trades, where I've successfully made a positive return in options. So comments like that, like who do we have on yesterday? There was a commenter that I was having fun with. Um, Comments like that can be definitely fun. The back and forth, I have a lot of fun with that for sure. But yeah, so yeah, Richard, Kanoko Phillips looks really good actually. Anyway, all right, you all. I'll try to be back later on with another one. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord. We're having a lot of fun in the Discord. Lots of good information being shared there, including the wheel strategy. So thanks for tuning in. We will see you all on the next one. Take care. Oh, I missed one. Thoughts. I missed a couple of comments here. SCHD. You know what? I guess I'll go for 20. I was going to end it, but I guess I'll keep going. Scooby Doo is cool. He says Rutro and stuff like that. Yeah, he's used to be one of my favorite cartoons actually. Yeah, I missed this one, but let me look at SCHD while I'm at it. I was going to end the video, but we'll go for an even 20 minutes. Why not? Okay, here we go. SCHD. Yeah, I know they asked me about that on the podcast over the weekend. I wanted to be I wanted to have a little bit better answer on that one. 5.91%. Let me just type in SCHD while I'm at it, by the way. SCHD over 1 year. Let's look at total return. Total return. Here we go. 16.42%. This one is very well loved by many. Buy. The quant has it as a hold, but the SA analysts have it as a buy. Reconstitution. This is the reconstitution thing that we were talking about. It's undergone a major reconstitution of stocks, removing Broadcom and Merck. Oh, okay. Yeah, it changed its holdings. That should be interesting. SCHD has underperformed the market. Yeah, that's what I observed with it. That's why it hasn't really stood out to me. But yeah, okay. So they're kind of doing like what Ulti does, where they change out their holdings. Anyway, yeah, SCHD is cool. All right, even 20 minutes. There we go. All right, you all like, comment, and subscribe. Join Discord, and we will see you all on the next one. Thanks. Take care. Bye.